I can't go on like this.
I'm learning.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 48 of Artisan Exchange. It is 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and it is July 24th, 2026. Well, that's all I got for
Welcome
now.
the
Welcome.
end.
Thank you and good night.
Yeah,
That's
so let's
it.
go find someone to stream. Yeah.
Play us out. Guys, we're in the throes of summer. It doesn't feel like it can get much worse, but it can. We still have another month until the peak.
Summer sucks.
It sure
It really,
does.
really sucks.
I am not going to be ready whenever kids go back to school.
I'm not ready now. My wife starts back like Tuesday, and I don't want to get up in the morning.
I start back on Monday, and I am ready for this jelly.
Well, not to mention that I have to start paying daycare again, and I'm not ready for that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mine's
You'll
because
get
I
all sorts
deliver
of
everything in Market Square and Gay Street on Tuesday. And, oh yeah, so football season, whenever it starts booming again.
Well, at
Where's
least on a
Market
Tuesday.
Square? I've never heard of that place. Is that in a city that?
Market
square form.
where grocery store rectangle.
I mean, if
I
you
don't
listen
know
to
what you're-
48 episodes, you kind of.
I don't know what you're referring to. Let me just drink from my orange and white drink cuppy thing.
Where's
Whoops, it's wrong. Oh,
Where's Foxville at?
Foxville. Yeah, you remember when the Fox station changed that in insert town here for like a month, and then everyone complained, and then it went back to Fox 43?
Nope.
No.
Oh.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, it was Foxville for like a month, and then I remember they went back and in no uncertain terms they went, oh, just kidding. Could you imagine? And they were back to Fox 43. But
I do remember being a kid and growing up watching Fox 43, and then I got older and I saw Fox News. I'm like, this isn't my favorite cartoons. What is this? I was very confused.
There's a bunch of characters on there, though. Ha cha cha cha.
And that's as far as we'll go with that.
In the end, yeah, so summer kind of blows. Honestly, you can't really tell it from here, but with us doing the podcast whenever we typically do it on Friday nights, you can't hear any of the animals I have in the background. You might see a cat hopping through, but I have a dog now that I don't think I've actually mentioned. And that's my wife. That's not the dog, by the way.
You have a wife that we all know about.
Yes.
My wife.
Yes, we all know my wife. Dog's pretty well mannered. Without going into detail, we kind of got an unofficial emotional support dog. That's not officially an emotional support dog, but I digress. Dog's great. Dog got spayed last Tuesday, and she's made her life a living hell. Just because, I didn't realize how much it took to handle the dog doing that. And without going into detail, it's been kind of messy. But ugh, yeah, I won't go into details. But we're dealing with that, and my wife is actually going to go next weekend to go see Hillary Duff in concert. So I will be all alone next Friday when we have the pod, fellas. My daughter will be with her grandparents camping in an RV, and my wife will be gone, so I'll be all alone. So I'll probably be extra moody and sad and stuff. So we'll have to pull me through.
Emo podcast.
Touching on that, next Friday, or not next Friday, but the Friday after that will be our season finale special, our 50th episode. And then the Friday after that will be our season 2 premiere, also a special episode. So we'll try to have something fun planned for both of those. Not sure yet. Schedules are getting so stressful this time of year that hopefully we can squeeze something out. I'm still working on getting everything ready for season 2. Not had a lot of chance to work on it. I'm not going to be at home at all tomorrow, so getting really close to the wire, but we're going to try to figure it out.
Yeah, we always do.
Well, in the past week, we had a anniversary of Final Fantasy X.
Oh, did I miss that?
I think so. I think it was
Well,
over the last week.
Clearly you did.
was the Japanese release or American release?
That I'm not sure of. Everybody's just been going crazy about and like playing Final Fantasy X on here. But I last weekend went to a Pokemon convention, and even though it's not Pokemon, I got
Ooh,
a commander deck of Final Fantasy X Magic cards.
That's
Nice.
not Pokemon.
It is not Pokemon, but I got them under market price, so win
I
for
feel
me.
like I saw some Final Fantasy X cards at GameStop the other day, and I was very confused because I think
can't-
Una was on the front cover.
I can't reach it, but I have a box of Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy that one of my friends gave me.
Oh, okay.
We wandered into a GameStop for the first time in forever, and my wife threw down money for it. Well, technically, I threw down some trading credit from taking in some old beat-up consoles for some Pokemon box something gimmick. But then I was kind of wandering while she was talking to the person and found those Final Fantasy cards, and that's another rabbit hole I can't go down, boys. I already have too many wrestling things in my life, and I'm in another phase of reorganizing all of that, and I'm this close to just selling it all on eBay. And as I was telling the boys in the green room, I thought about having a hard reset on my Nintendo 64 collection, and then getting games as complete in box as I physically can without dropping hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on slabbed games, because that's ridiculous. I'm not going to drop $1,000 on that. And then I started looking at price chart. This game right here, within the last week, has been selling for over $200.
What
What
is
is
that?
Goemon's Great Adventure.
Goemon's Great Adventure.
If you had a Nintendo 64, which I know Daniel didn't, or
I
Viper
did not.
didn't. Okay. And Alden did. If you remember the game Mystical Ninja starring Goemon,
The little guy on the front looks familiar.
yeah, it's kind of hard to tell right here. But I picked this up during, well, we've talked off and on about the Storm of Case, and I believe 2 summers ago now, they had this quaint little contest that turned into what we call a poop show. But we ended up with, we ended up getting just about $1,000 credit a piece between my wife and I. And this was
That's the one
sitting
where
on the
everybody
shelf.
was like standing outside and they were passing out, right? Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
for those unfamiliar, we've talked about McKay's before. It's a used bookstore, but it also has all sorts of media, games, instruments, toys, and the like. And they were celebrating a 50th anniversary, I believe. And so they said, "Hey, tell you what, let's make a road trip out of it. If you can visit all 5 stores within one day, and it's drivable from Nashville to Chattanooga to Knoxville to
Winston-Salem and somewhere else.
Winston-Salem and Mebane.
Yeah.
So it's doable. If you could get them all, you have a little passport, you get little stamps and stuff. It'd be a fun little time. Oh, we started in North Carolina to make our way to Nashville and then swing back. Mebane, we arrived probably at 7:30 in the morning, and we were probably there were probably 500 people in front of us.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wow.
And from there, it only got crazier.
So
Same
I
numbers.
remember seeing the chaos because I remember I had to work that day and I was driving back. I think I was at 7-Up and I was driving back on the interstate and I was like, what the hell? Like there was a sea of people. And I was like, what the hell is happening on at McKay's?
So
And then
at
I
that
remember you telling me that.
at that point, as we were traveling, there were tornado warnings going on either in Chattanooga or Nashville too. I forget where, but that was fun. At one point, they had radioed ahead and like were in contact with each other because they did not estimate, and that was one of the 5 stores. All 5 stores got hit, probably with about the same amount of people. In Knoxville's location, most of the parking was pretty atrocious, but there were people passing out from heat exhaustion. By the time we were getting close, they instructed people to not go to the Knoxville location because the police department had shut it down. They shut the store down. They kicked the people out of the parking lot.
Wow.
When we drove by, there were multiple fire engines there. And they said that they would honor I can't remember the details, but honor skipping one of them. And since we're local to the Knoxville one, we said, yeah, but we're going to skip that one anyway. So we ended up still cashing in and getting all the credit for it. And that was a wild ride. But
So I have to know something.
Sure.
When you were there, what percentage of people waiting in that line actually were making purchases?
Not enough to keep them in business, I can tell you that much.
Well,
Because
I
I'm
mean,
thinking, if you were legitimately giving it like $1,000 credit to everyone who made that pilgrimage, how much money did they lose on that?
it's not been stated. And before kind of hearing other whispers, kind of thought might have been part of the reason why Knoxville folded. But I doubt it. I just don't think we realize how much money is behind McKay's. If they're able to kind of hand that much out.
I still don't know how that
ideally,
store works, honestly.
Ideally, it was supposed to be each store would get you, a bump up in the bonus. Like the first store was you get the little book and you like get like a
That's what I
50
heard too.
Yeah, it was like a $50 thing. Boom. You go to the second store, boom, it bumps up. Third store, boom. Fourth store, boom. And the final store, you get the remainder of the bonus thing to equal $800 at the time. Whenever the poop hit the fan, things changed on the fly. And by the time I think we ended in Nashville, I think we did. We had accumulated several of the previous stores' trade-in voucher thingies. And at Nashville, they were just cutting little trade credit slips, just handing them over, and they had the full 800 on it to begin with. So 800
Wow.
stacked with so it totaled, I think, $1,030 after all was said and done per person. It was me, my wife, and we brought one of our good friends.
Lord.
So yeah, it was wild. All this to say, I miss going to McKay's. And that's where, like I said, that's where I got going on.
I might
and that's
go
where
tomorrow, but
I was about to say, are you heading down towards Chattanooga? Because
I'm going to Chattanooga tomorrow. But I don't know how much time I'll have. My goal is to get home in time to mow the lawn because I have not done that all week and it's getting bad.
Yeah, I haven't done it this week. I was supposed to do it today, and yeah, that didn't happen.
Yeah, I was supposed to do it yesterday and today.
I miss mowing the lawn. I don't have a lawnmower that works anymore. And then every time we have tax return season, we go, we're going to buy a lawnmower. And then, someone explodes or something. And then
how do you mow your lawn?
We don't have a big lawn.
I have a bunch of goats. No, we hire a guy.
Oh, okay. I was like, please tell me you actually mow.
No, but I have seen firsthand what a unkempt acre of land looks like when not mowed. And Vipe's been to my house in the past, but
I have.
the summer my brother passed, I went to pick him up about 2 or 3 weeks before because he didn't drive to celebrate his niece's first birthday. Imagine a standard size chain link fence, which is anywhere from like stomach to chest level on you, depending. Alden, I know you're on the taller side, so it's a little bit lower, but my father didn't mow either. It legit was probably at least 5 to 6 foot tall grass.
Good Lord.
Phew.
Yeah, it looked like a cornfield.
I got I don't know what they are. Apparently it's like weeds or something growing on the other side of my fence, but it's in between my fence and the people behind me's fence because they were not smart enough to actually push the fence all the way up to mine. So I don't know how I'm going to like get rid of that.
See, that's what bothers me is we live in a new build neighborhood and each house is an easement with like maybe 1.5 feet to 2 feet between each property line. So all in told, if you put the fence on the end of your actual property line, you're right in the middle of the easement. But if you do it in that easement section and keep it open, you have enough room to put like a lawnmower through a strip or two. So if it does start to go up, someone can get in there and maintain it. Well, the first house on the north side of us, they moved in before we did and had a fence built before we even closed on our house. They'd already built the fence. But the house south of us, they built the fence later. But when they built it, they literally built it on the property line of the easement. So if we were to ever build a fence now, there's only like this much space between the fences. So it would not be feasible for me to do it. So if I decide to build a fence with enough room to get a lawnmower through, I actually have to forfeit some of my property to do it. And it kind of bothers me.
Well, I think they were upset because we had like privacy bushes along our back.
Yeah.
And then they were getting too out of hand for us to manage. So we decided to take them out. And then magically they put up a fence and it was not long enough. Like maybe a month later or so.
Yeah. Which that's the thing. I live in an HOA and I hate it. Like we have a 6-foot fence maximum. You can't have a fence taller than 6 foot. I'm like, I am 6.5 foot tall. If I go outside, then my head is like over everyone's fence. I'm like, I don't want people to see me in my backyard. And I don't want to see them. But you tell me my fence can't even be as tall as I am. Just irritates me. I hate HOAs.
So I took like weed killer, and you're supposed to like spray it to like dilute it.
Yeah.
So I just opened it up and I just like poured it along there, hoping that it kills something. Let's see what it does. And
I got to use my mini
poured a
chainsaws
whole
last
bottle of
month.
it back there.
I was killing some of the stuff around our house with it. I need to get some of that weed killer watery goo, but now that the dog's here, knowing her, she'll probably like lick it or drink it. But I got a mini chainsaw off of Amazon, and I was out there a month ago, like hacking and slashing at all sorts of big weeds and stuff in the way. Because the folks will mow, but the back fence is pretty overgrown by this point, and we have a bush that's either the neighbors or ours. I can't quite tell at this point because it's been so overgrown for so long. And they just kind of make this little beeline, and it looks like someone, a 5-year-old kind of staying mostly in the lines whenever they're drawing back there. But when the weather gets cooler, and everything dies off, I'll probably head back there. It'll be a lot easier to do it in the winter time as opposed to now when it's 900,000 degrees outside and you feel like you're walking in a sauna when you step outdoors. But
what I hate about it is we're one of the only houses that don't have a fence at this point, just because I can't afford to buy one. But the house that built theirs on the easement, they do not clean up anything behind it, and our neighborhood was built on like this farmland, so it's basically separated from this road that's kind of impoverished area behind us, only separated by this little wooded gully that's maybe like 15 foot wide. But it's like a forested area and it's overgrown, so no one really goes back behind their fences to do it. So if you look behind these houses, you have weeds that are like 7 to 10 feet high, and the house beside me has like thistle plants literally hanging over with the bulbs hanging off of them, just ready to blossom and explode. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I wish you would all clean these up before they get in my yard, because my yard is just thistle, thorns everywhere. And I'm like, this really sucks when you have kids who want to play in the backyard.
Yeah.
But so I'll occasionally when I go mow, like I get right to the edge of the property line and I'm at the back of their fence, and I'll just turn my mower, just run over their stuff and just mow it down, and then I'll just keep going. It's like, at least get it away from my property. But
I want a wood chipper or a grinder. That would be fun.
Wood chipper.
My
Those
my
massive
father-
things, right?
yeah, my father-in-law has
Doesn't
a
have to be
log splitter.
massive. Really? Oh wait, no, but he lives in like Cambodia, Michigan, something, Ohio, right?
You remember Tom?
Cambodia, Michigan, Ohio.
I
Is
was
that
trying to
the city
think
of
of
Cambodia, Michigan County,
with a
Ohio?
wood splitter.
Yes. How did I know
think
such a
this
thing?
was before you, but I had my finger wrapped up, and it was in one of our piano classes, and I'd like scream every time we were doing scales. because I took the entire fingernail, popped it completely off.
Mhm.
So I had no fingernail on one of my fingers, and it eventually grew back. But
I
How'd
told
you
you I
pop
did.
it off?
I was splitting wood with my dad, and
Mm.
the piece of wood fell, and I was trying to catch it, and it
Mm.
landed on the splitter of the blade. The splitter was not moving, but
Mm.
the splitter of the blade and the thing of wood, and it
Mm.
just popped it right off.
Yikes.
I told you
I was sitting there, and I was bleeding, and I passed out, and it was a fun time.
did I tell you got the story about when I broke my finger on Memorial Day?
Like this past Memorial Day?
No, it was in 21.
Oh, no.
So it was
Do
like
tell.
it was coming up before our first anniversary with Hannah, about a month before. And it was Memorial Day, and it was just kids weren't born yet. It was just two of us, and we're like, "Hey, let's go out back and light up the grill and cook something." So I went and loaded up the grill with some charcoal pellets, but I did not have enough. I only had like 3 or 4 pellets, or not 3 or 4 pellets, 3 pellets. Yeah, clearly I was smart enough. No, we had enough to like kind of cover the base, but not clearly not enough. So I'm like, you know what? I can go and cut some wood real quick. Well, all I had was some scrap pieces of firewood, and I'm like, they were too big. So I'm like, well, I needed to just find a real quick way to cut this. Well, I stupidly thought I would use a miter saw to do it. So I'm holding the block of wood in my hand like this, and I'm using the blade to drop it. And as I did, it gets caught on a furl, and it breaks it out of my hand and snaps the tip of my finger. And it was so loud that Hannah was in the kitchen, and she goes, "What was that?" She opens the door in the garage. I'm like, "Nothing, I'm fine." She goes, "Oh my God." And my finger was like purple. She goes, did you break your finger? I'm like, "Nah, it's fine." So
No, it's
I'm
fine.
like, let's
It's
go
at a
here.
90-degree
Let's go
angle.
here and cook this. And the whole time
It's
I'm
just
like lighting it.
bonafide.
I'm like doing this, like trying to light the fire. And I'm just like, ow, ow, ow. And she's like, "I'm going to the store and getting you something." So she went and bought me the stuff to make a splint. And I was like dealing with it all night. And I'm like, this really sucks. So then like a day later, I was like, I'm gonna go to urgent care, and like, yeah, you have fractured your distal phalanx. I'm like, so is it broken? They're like, yeah. I'm like, she was right.
it
So
broke?
I wore a splint for like 6 weeks. We went on our honeymoon to Folly Beach, and I'm driving all the way down to South Carolina with my hand like this, just in the car, and I had my finger like this the entire vacation. And
Is that your dominant hand?
no, I'm right-handed. Um,
I'll tell
so
you an irrational
not
fear
all
in a moment once
handicapped
you
like
finish
you.
up. So shut up.
so,
Yeah, you ran your mouth about that, and then you ended up, what was it?
so
Screwing up your, you screwed up your
Yeah, I
right
screwed
hand,
up
and
my
then you
right
had to
hand.
use your left. That's what it
so
was.
so
Anyway,
that
Alden,
so that
there you go.
sucked. But what was worse is I'm like an impatient person. So like the nail started to like die and grow out and slowly, and I was like, so I started eventually picking at it, and like the entire nail bed like came off. So it's never grown back right now. If I clip all my nails, this one doesn't clip right. It like kind of like slowly tears. And for a while, I could like, how they say if you have like arthritis or broken bones, you can like feel atmospheric changes. For a while, I could like, I can feel the rain. It was like
phone
ET.
home.
But no, that sucked. But it was funny, like just how it was like door flies open. What was that? You could hear the sound of the wood
Who
just
dat?
like explode out of my hand and hit the wall.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, not
All
my
right.
brightest moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you better be lucky that it wasn't a whole lot worse than just
Oh,
broken
I was
finger.
scared to use that saw after that because I was like, it was like in King of the Hill when
You
the
seen Guap
megalomart blows up
before?
and Hank won't touch propane. I was just like, it's like I don't want to use this thing anymore.
All right, now that you said that, I'm going to tell you an irrational fear, and we could spin off that if you want, or we can just laugh at what I'm thinking of and go on.
Let's go.
Fine.
What you got?
Okay, so you'd mentioned your finger breakage, and then that's what popped up in my head when I asked if you were a lefty or not.
Mhm.
My irrational fear, out of anything else on planet Earth, is if I somehow, I am a lefty. If you couldn't tell, I sit here and like scribble notes and shove the pencil in my brain.
I did not know you were left-handed.
I'm a lefty. As
I knew you were
everyone-
left-handed, and I call
Yeah,
you
you-
handicapped for it.
You shut your dirty stinko mouth. Anyway, my irrational fear, and this might be a little TMI for people, is if I ever break my right hand, which I use for business in the bathroom, I won't be able to wipe with my left hand.
Well,
It might be hard, but I think eventually you'll get the job done with
yeah,
trial and error.
I
you'll
don't know,
figure it
man.
out. I
I've
had to
trained
figure it
this
out.
hand. I've trained this hand for a lot of bathroom use, and
Wait, why do you
everything else
use
went
your
into this hand.
non-dominant hand to use the bathroom?
It's a left hand thing, I guess. I don't know. I put
Is
my watch
it?
on my left hand.
It's
I don't
because he
know.
really wants
I'll
to
go
be a
ask the
right-handed
lefties in my
person.
life. Do you wipe with your right hand?
You should.
No, I'm not going
Lefties
to
are
do
just
that.
ass
Are we gonna
backwards,
go
I
down
guess.
this road?
No, I think this road needs to come to a dead end pretty
Okay.
soon.
I mean, it is an irrational fear of mine, and that's what I even told my wife this about 6 months ago. I said, "We're gonna have to buy a bidet if I ever break my right hand."
The day to
And
you,
then,
sir.
bidet to you, sir.
All right, that is a full transparency. We did not have a topic tonight, but now I feel like we do have one. Let's talk about irrational fears and intrusive thoughts.
I just probably filled both of those with mine, so there's mine.
Irrational fears. I don't know if I have.
Oh, I'll give you
I'm
time
sure
to
you
stir 'em a
do.
little bit on them.
I mean,
Here, I'll see if I can spin another one while you guys have your little thinking emojis. Okay, so I am very paranoid about stuff, so this should come really easy to me. Okay, this one's a little on the dark side. I'll say that one. But
Okay.
I always make the joke, or not the joke, but my daughter had just turned 9. And I always make the comment, speaking of daughter, hey, can you not be in here for like the next 30 seconds? Okay, cool. That's cool. Wait, no, my
Not be
daughter
in here
took
for the
it
next
out
30
of the room. Da, 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 da. At least she has her shorts on this week. Bye, I love you. Anyway, so my irrational fear number 8,412. You always want to say, "Oh, I wish they'd stay this little forever." I know sometimes you have those moments where you're like, "No, they don't. I don't want that to happen." When I think, "Oh, I wish she would stay this little forever," in my morbid mind, I go, "Well, that just means she's gonna die and she's gonna be forever remembered at this age. Or God's gonna smite her because you said that, and she'll be forever that way, and you'll get your wish." And I'll
Or
go,
you could
"Okay,
just-
shut up, fine."
Train your intrusive thought to be, what if she becomes a vampire?
Ooh,
There you go.
plot twist. Okay, that's glass half full in it for me. Okay. But yeah, that's another one I'd thought of over the last couple of years is, I wish she'd stay this little forever. And then God pulls a lever. It's like, all right, bet.
Acula.
So
That's irrational fear number 2. So
I can't directly name an irrational fear that I have. I mean, I'm sure plenty of people say that my constant anxiety about like work performance and like, losing my job over mistakes I make is pretty irrational. But to me, it's like,
that's what these are for.
yeah, I've tried every anxiety medicine on a man, and they either gave me existential dread or diarrhea, and both are pretty bad. So,
one could lead to another, but I digress.
Speaking of diarrhea,
I took Vibrate after my cancer diagnosis. I'm like, this pill's hitting, but I don't really want to go to the bathroom 3 times before noon.
This pill hitting and it be shit. Never mind.
But anyway, so this one's not really, I wouldn't consider it as much as me having irrational thoughts, because, I mean, other people will, but, in my head, I'd rather be conscious than oblivious.
Fair enough.
The enlightened mind. But I do have the worst intrusive thought in the world, and I don't know if you've ever experienced this, and it would make me feel better if any other people have, so leave a comment if you have. I have moments in my life where if I get to be in a really good mood and I feel like I'm having a good time talking with people and everyone's
think
happy
something
and
bad's
we're
about
all
to
doing good, I will imagine myself, what can I do to ruin this? And I will imagine screaming at them or just like ruining, like saying something horribly insulting. I'm like, and then immediately like, why would I do that? But it's like in my head, it's like, how can I sabotage this to make this suck for everybody? And I'm like, that is the craziest thing in my life. And I'm like, is that normal?
You're just like worst case scenarioing it, which kind of throws off the whole glass half full thing you just spilled with the vampire.
I
But,
think it's for me, I'm just kind of like, I
But I
live
relate to that, I
life
get it.
with the fragility in mind, so it's not like I want to do this as much as "Oh my god, what if the only thing that could ruin this moment is me, and what if I'm the one that just goes off the deep end and breaks everything?" And I don't know, I think that's the anxiety coming back out again. But it's
The
definitely a
problem, it's
weird
me.
scenario, and I've thought that for a long time. Hannah used to just kill me with this one. She would say it all the time because one time at this old house we lived in, I'm like I looked at her, I'm like and I was like, "I just had this really weird thought. What if I accidentally pushed you down the stairs?" And she's like
What?
she's like, "I'm not going near the basement because you're just gonna push me down the stairs." I'm like, "I would never do that." But it's just an intrusive thought I had. But
See if you can fly. Whee!
apparently intrusive thoughts are common, but it doesn't make me feel any less crazy, so I hate it. I really do hate it because 'Cause I've never done anything like that to anyone, but I'm like, "Oh my god, what if I did?"
I got a funny story that happened 2 o'clock this morning.
Dude.
So,
Sure.
um, and I just told my wife this, and
My
she was
wife.
like, "What?" So she almost pushed me out of bed, wanting me to pick up some Amazon packages off the floor at 2 o'clock in the morning. She was dreaming. And I
Yeah.
was like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "The packages on the I don't know." And I brought it up to her earlier today, and I was like, "Did you even know what you were saying?" She goes, "No, I did that." And I was like, "Yeah, you almost pushed me out of the bed. My alarm didn't even go off yet." She just felt so confused, but,
That's okay.
that just kinda triggered that
I
anxiety,
do
I guess.
like I do like that too. Not to mention the intrusive thoughts, but then the thoughts you can't handle in dreams. Those are
Yeah.
fun. I'm in my ADHD summer. I can tell you at least 4 or 5 things I've worked on this week. Number one, I've been trying to get a platinum on Resident Evil 4. I got an unlimited rocket launcher the other day. Number two, I've been going through and organizing all my photos I've had since 2013 when I've had a smartphone. I'm at currently 2025, I think.
Good god.
Number three,
Are you starting
I
backwards or
I went from earliest
oldest?
photos to now, and I'm going
Okay.
through and deleting random blurs or stuff that doesn't logically make sense.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
any
screenshots.
photos of friends that aren't friends anymore, um, and just times when my phone got hijacked by my daughter. I actually found several of my daughter and her friends. There's one where they're taking a selfie in their room, making stupid little ducky faces. um, yeah. So as you can see, I'm all over the place this summer because I can't just focus on one thing. But um, one of the things I did notice as I was doing the photos, going through my iCloud, I have at least several years back of dreams that I've written down,
Oh
and
god.
some of them are very detailed. Some of them I kinda get a Cliff's Notes version, and if I don't immediately if it doesn't wake me up, I have if it wakes me up, I can typically, like, be coherent enough to pull my phone out and, like, vaguely type it into my notes and then just go back to sleep. I used to have a notepad by my, bed when I was in high school and college, and I would have a pen, and I have just go there and scribble 3 AM, Dr. Janitor 35 notes. But I have some bat crap crazy notes, and dreams, and to that effect, I know Vipe was talking about his wife. My wife doesn't keep as
Bye-bye.
much she doesn't keep notes, but I'll, like, share the notes with her and go, "Alright, so this is what happened." When it comes to my wife's dreams, most of them involve her screaming at the top of her lungs in the dead of night.
You're right.
So there's been multiple occasions where I'm stirred awake by my wife in the corner going, "No, no, ah," and she'll like have some little catchphrase she'll squirt out real quick, like, "Ah," like "Don't touch that door," or and I'll have to like shake her, and she'll go, and then she'll like, or she'll think she's still part of the dream. She goes, "Don't touch me," and then she'll drop like f bombs sometimes, like "Don't touch me." But she's the very I guess she gets like into a VR headset of it because she's like in the dream and physical about it, whereas mine is like mine was a stupid teacher dream like 2 or 3 nights ago where I had the desktop, just the top of a desk, not the whole desk, was delivered to my classroom, and I wasn't bothered with it to put it anywhere yet, and so I was putting everything else together, and I went home for the day, and by the time I got home, the custodians had brought it to my house and laid it in the living room floor because they, I guess, thought that I wasn't paying attention to them. Um, and then I had another one, um 2 days before that, that revolved around one of my daughter's friends who unfortunately passed away at the start of the summer.
Mm.
And I was sneaking her around this walled off, abandoned section of our school, and it felt like a stealth mission from Metal Gear Solid. So I'd like tell her to put her head down and duck behind this like rubble. And then I kept like telling her, I don't know why the principal has blocked this portion of the school off. It'd be perfectly usable if it weren't for all this debris. And then just random nonsense like that. And like I said, maybe if we get into a bigger dreams episode, we can delve deep into that. But
I don't write down my dreams. I know there was only one time that I kinda had a night terror type experience,
mhm.
but the only thing I can remember is I couldn't catch my breath.
Mm.
So I don't know what I was dreaming about, and
Uh-huh.
and my wife was like, "I didn't know I didn't think you were breathing." Because I guess it was like a reverse breath. I was taking in air, but I guess I wasn't letting it out. I don't know, it was weird. She's like,
Yeah.
"I thought you were going crazy or doing something."
You were just doing breathing, Jim, in your sleep.
So I don't really know of any incidents where I have like weird nightmares or night terrors or Hannah for that matter, but my oldest has had a lot of issues in the past with night terrors. But
Mhm.
sometimes he just has like little blurbs in his sleep, like you said your wife did. And what's funny to me is my son, he sleeps in our bed a lot. I'm sure he'll come in there at some point in the middle of the night. Um, but he also has this thing where I don't know if it's a thing at his age, but he's really, demands to win at things. So if you get down the stairs or up the stairs before him, he's like, "I have to win. Don't win, I have to win." So, like, you have to stop on the stairs and let him get up and down. Um, but I guess he had a dream about it because I was lying in bed the other night. It was like 2 AM, and I just hear him say, "Daddy, I wanted to win." I was like, "What are you talking about? Go to sleep." But
That boy is devoted.
no, the kid is hilarious. Um, oh my gosh, what did he say today? So we do this thing now. I've introduced him to the song "I Miss You" by Blink-182, and so I'll
Oh, the Jack
randomly
and Sally song?
what?
Yeah, live like
Oh,
Jack and Sally if we want. Yeah.
oh yeah. So I'll randomly just be in the house and I'll go, "Where are you?" And he'll go, "I'm so sorry." But today I don't even know what I said. I said, I said something completely random, but I did it in that Tom DeLonge style, and he repeated what I said as, like, a call and response, so he immediately knew the reference even though I didn't say the words, and I'm like, "This kid's genius." I just he cracks me up so much.
My 6th grade band students got caught on that, a couple years ago 'cause I forget the context. They were probably my brightest band students at one of my schools, but they were the biggest handful.
Mhm.
Overall, that whole year kinda sucked, but the kids I I teach general music during the day and then after school band at my school, 2 days a week, and then I go literally 2 miles down the street to the second school just for band 2 days a week, and it's that group. One of them actually, Alden, you might know, because we went to college with her. I don't know how family trees work, but I'll explain in the green room.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but we know her, and the fact that she married a band director that lives in Hamblin County. Anyway, um, the kid's a saxophone player, and Loud, very
Was
loud.
she a saxophone player?
She was a clarinet player, but married a saxophone player.
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Anyway, that one came up a whole lot, though. Where are you? And I think
Where
I like,
are you?
where are you? Well, that's from British. Where are you? I kind of jettisoned back the follow up to that one day, and they go, "Oh, he knows what the tongue is." I said, "Girl, I was there when it was written. Shut up."
Back in my day.
Back in my day, we had 182 blinks.
And
6th
41
graders.
sums.
41 sums.
I do love me 41 sums.
And a big
Sidebar,
old
Sum
fat lip.
41's. Sidebar, Sum 41's better than Blink 192, but I digress.
They were.
What? I'm sorry. What?
They're
You heard
gone
me.
now, though.
Yeah, Sum 41, I think, retired. Yeah,
Never did get to
Is
sit in 'em.
better than Blink 182?
I think so. Of
Not
course,
a
I
ch-
also think
not a chance.
Pepsi's better than Coke, and I also think that
That's all right. You're handicapped. It's okay.
no,
Pepsi
see,
is
that's
better
what it
than
is.
Coke with pizza, and that's the only time.
No.
You had me until the pizza, but clearly I eat pizza a lot, so I don't know.
Dude, every Friday I get a pizza with a wild cherry Pepsi Zero. Oof.
How wild of you. Oh man, pizza would have hit the spot, but we didn't. Well, we
I
didn't
had
go
pizza
anywhere
today.
today. I
Yeah, we did
I
too.
would have liked pizza today, but that's okay. I took care of some honeydew stuff this morning because it's my wife's 3-day weekend, so she was supposed to sleep in, but then the dog decided, you know what, this sleeping lady needs me to throw my body weight against her and go to sleep. So I woke up at 7 and ready to go do my chores, and then let the dog in, and I have to, without going into detail, I have to put a diaper on her for at least another week, possibly 2. And then I was gently putting her in bed, and then she bolted to the edge of the bed and then threw her body weight against Emily, and then I went, well, poop.
Well,
And then
I gotta get out the bleep sound effect again.
Bull. Anyway,
gotta have
and
the
then half
dolphin sound.
yeah. And then after about half an hour after I'd left the house, she texted me. She goes, "Yeah, I'm awake." I said, "Sorry."
So, were you gonna say something?
No, I was burping at that point. So
Viper, were you gonna say something?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. So in the green room, I told you guys that a cat threw up on my keyboard and here my piano, and I haven't gotten a chance to clean that off yet.
I thought you meant your computer keyboard.
No, my
Oh.
Korg, my D1, like my $800 piano in my
God.
room.
Oh no.
But even worse than that. So yesterday I leave work, and this is a little disgusting. So safe word coconut. You can come back whenever we say coconut again, which you'll have no way of knowing if you're not listening. This is pretty gross, but this is just the wildest thing that I've ever experienced, and I wasn't even here for it. So yesterday I leave work around 4:30, and I have to, we don't have, we put some chicken down to thaw, but it wasn't, thawed yet. So I was like, well, I'll just run to the, stop by and grab something to eat on the way home.
That sounds like a euphemism. Sorry.
So I was going to go,
Thawing
first
out your
thought was
chicken.
I'm gonna stop at Burger King and get some food, and there was like 7 cars in the drive-thru. I'm like, okay, so I'm not doing that. So then I just like, you know what? I've got some coupons to Arby's. I'll go over to the grocery store and get
We
what I need,
have
and I
the
go to
meat.
Arby's. And Hannah's like, no, just get a rotisserie. I'm like, fine, okay. So I go into the store, no rotisserie. So I'm like, okay, I'll just go to
My
Arby's. I get in the
God.
car and look at the Arby's coupons. They're for a specific store on the other side of town. I'm like, well, I can't use those. So I was like, forget it. I'm going back to Burger King. So I drive back to Burger King and I sit in line for 15 minutes until I finally get the food. And then as I'm pulling out, my wife calls me and she goes, you won't believe what happened. And I'm like, what? And this is the part that I say is disgusting. I have a 4-year-old and I have a 17-month-old now. Yeah, he's 17 months old. In the span of time that I first attempted to go to Burger King and the second time I went to Burger King, apparently My wife, while I was on the phone with her, thought that the youngest had messed his diaper, so she had attempted to change him while I was on the phone. In the 30 minutes roughly that transpired between then, this is what happened. She smelled the brown note, but it was not with my youngest. Apparently, my oldest had somehow had an accident and concealed that fact and did not tell her. So she thought it was the baby. Well, then he is sitting on the couch, and at this point, it is escaping his pants on the couch. And she's like, "Did you have an accident?" And he's like, "No." And she goes, "Please tell me. I'm going to be more upset if you are lying to me." And he goes, "Okay, yeah, I did." At that point, it had gotten all over the leather couch, like the armrest, the chase, and it had like run down his legs and stuff. So she goes upstairs to give him a bath. Well, I guess she didn't put the young one in the playpen. So when she comes back, he
No.
was playing in it and it was all up his arms.
Oh my god.
So she's like, "Oh my God." So then she goes in to give him a bath. And as she comes back, Sebastian is licking it and then
Oh my god.
threw up 3 times
Sebastian is a cat.
from licking it.
Okay.
So he starts throwing up in the floor. Why? And all of this happens while I'm sitting in the Burger King drive-thru waiting to order a freaking chicken sandwich. And
Oh my God.
so then
I
I'm
bet
like,
she was so mad about that chicken sandwich.
she was like, "I'm done. I'm done for the day. I'm done."
For the
And then I get
day.
home and she goes, and then I'm like, "Well, here's your food." And she goes, "I didn't want this." And I'm like, "Are you kidding?" And she goes, "Yeah, I didn't want fast food." I'm like, "Why didn't you tell me?" And she goes, "Well, you didn't ask." I'm like, "I legitimately said, 'What do you want to eat?' And you wouldn't tell me." So it was an evening for all of us. But then last night I was like feeling sick at my stomach, so I like skipped my stream. So then I go sit on the couch, which she said she cleaned, but I'm sitting there and all night I'm like, it smells so bad. So, yeah, I guess I'm
Well,
gonna
and it was
be
leather too.
either deep cleaning the leather couch this weekend or throwing it out in the front yard.
I mean, leather's probably easier to clean off than a cloth couch, so there's that.
It's also like 8 years old and completely broken down to the point where I've actually taken the bottom off of it, ripped the fabric off, and like hammered and bolted the springs back in like 5 times now. It's like to the point where this I cannot believe
It might
how
need
many
to,
times this
go into the
couch keeps
Bermuda
breaking
triangle.
itself somehow. I've legitimately put a 2x4 over the springs and bolted them into place, and they're still popping out and dragging the floor. So I'm just like, it's time, but it's also the chase, the most comfortable part. And I'm like, I don't want to get rid of the chase. But also the way the sectional is made, it's made in a way if you take the chase off, the end piece is just barren, a black felt part where it doesn't end right, and you'd have to like hide it, so it looks bad. But I don't know, it's not comfortable at this point.
Yeah, our couch isn't either.
But oh my god,
It's
it's just
well, since we're dropping gross stuff now, I'll throw you. Mine can't top that one. But I mentioned earlier about my dog wearing a diaper. She was spayed last Tuesday. Typical dog behavior from that, lethargic, didn't want to eat, struggled to go to the bathroom. We had to put her on a leash so she wouldn't run and like have her stitches pop and then her guts fall out or whatever. About 8 days in, we noticed some blood.
oh gosh.
I kept flipping her over, holding her like a turkey, and she'd sit there. The wound was fine. Throughout the day, I kept looking because there's blood. It's not like it's coming out like a fountain, but oh, there's a dribble there. Oh, there's a streak there. My daughter and I flip her over like a turkey one time, and then we think, oh, I think she's got like these little cuts above her, like halfway on her stomach, like maybe she scratched too hard. That's probably where it's at. Okay, fine. And then later we thought we saw a little scratch on her right leg, and we're like, okay, well, that's annoying, but okay. It turns out after calling the vet, she was in heat when she was spayed.
Oh, God.
And I didn't know that. My wife says she found it on the paperwork after the fact. I never saw any of that. And then apparently it's okay. There's nothing bad. It's just she's, flushing out, I guess, her system of the stuff.
Yeah.
And that means she's going to bleed. And so for at least 3 days now, she's been in big old giant diapers. And ironically enough, we were at a thrift store down by the house today, and then we found these 2 cloth diapers that hadn't been used. And so she's been walking around all afternoon in these very fashionable pink and purple diapers. And ironically, her name's Violet. So when she got the purple diaper on, we went, "Oh, you're matching your
Violet.
diaper to your name." So yeah, we've had to wash a lot of extra stuff the last couple days. The couch looked like a war zone. So I would just Odoban and scrub till the red goes away. Change the bed sheets on our bed, daughter's bed. I know this is kind of TMI too, but with her crate, she needed to be in there just to kind of settle down because she'd get restless. And we didn't put the diaper on there because 1, she'd just chew it up and destroy it. And 2, we weren't going to bother cleaning up the bed multiple times a day.
Yeah.
So she's just going to struggle with that. Whenever she's all done and over, she'll get a good bath. We'll clean her bed real good and call it a day. But I've never had to deal with this in my life. So having a dog on her period or what's left of her period,
Yeah.
it's been a rough couple days.
Oh, I'll bet.
Yeah. But no poop. No poop.
Well, there's that.
Yeah, there's that. Vipe, you got anything gross to share before we get out of here?
Nope.
Can we
Oh,
mute the
man.
ad?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
This podcast brought to you by
did, I saw it.
Incontinence Diapers. Whether it's your child or your dog, we serve all. We are all inclusive in the diaper category.
Happens.
Mm-hmm. Well, before we do sign off here in a little bit, I know you're hitting the ad breaks. We will take a moment not only to mention, well, I mentioned this in the green room, the new trailer for Resident Evil came out. The movie.
I have not seen
Haven't
it
you-
yet.
I haven't watched it.
Oh, you should.
I watched the
It's very
first
nice.
one, like the teaser trailer.
I do prefer the first trailer to the second, but the second gives it a lot more heart, I guess you could say.
Oh, okay.
Go check it out when you get a minute.
Yeah. I definitely
And-
will because I like the first trailer. I thought
I
the
did
first
too.
trailer was really good.
My daughter watched it, and if you remember the scene at the little farmhouse where it had the one hand sticking out of the door,
Yeah.
and then it had multiple limbs sticking out the door, my daughter, who is not really a fan of horror, she started bursting into laughter. She goes, "What is
What?
that?" I said, "It'll be gross when you see it, but I could see how you would react like that at first." But yeah, check out the second trailer. I am super excited for it now. I think September 18th is
Now, do we know if it follows any storyline?
As of now, the director has said no, but watch the second trailer because it's going to drop a couple of things. Nothing like solid in stone scenarios, but they'll say certain words, you'll see certain things, and you'll go, "Oh, I can't believe it's not
Oh.
Resident Evil." And on the sidebar, July 24th, which is today, is the anniversary that the STARS members went into the mansion in the first game. So happy Star Wars, happy Resident Evil Day.
Happy Resident Evil Day.
Yay! Yurnga,
Yay.
hurnga, durnga.
Hurga-durga-durga.
Yeah, I said Star Wars because I meant to say stars. That's the name of the little police force thingy in the first game. But I'm a bright young boy, as we all know. But anyway, yeah, I'm getting my gaming in while I can before we go back for in-service. So I'm definitely Resident Evil in that. I might actually stream some tomorrow night. We'll see.
Wow.
I looked last summer, right before school started, is when I stopped streaming. So the common denominator here is when school's in, I'm out.
So it's been
Down.
a
You
year since
only
you
have,
streamed.
what, 2 weeks?
Basically, yeah.
Oh, my lord.
I know.
It's been a while since I've done a stream.
I've skipped a few this
Maybe
week because either I haven't felt well or I've just been tired or.
It's
maybe
been
I can
since
plan
my
myself
birthday.
out some time to do it because I don't think I want to stream just to have other people communicate. Like, I'll talk to you boys all day. I love y'all. But
Yeah.
I don't really think I care if people watch or not. But I guess it could be humorous to some people. I don't know. So,
No, I mean, that's my favorite part about streaming is just talking to people.
Yeah, me too.
So I can
couldn't
play games
care.
on my own anytime I want to.
I guess it's just me being an antisocial little hermit. I'm not really into stranger conversations.
It's
This is
for
me.
me. It's made it easier for me to talk to people.
I could see that. Well, being a decade in as a teacher at an elementary school level,
Yeah.
I feel like, and having 3 years in retail by now, I can talk. I don't have any sort of issues with talking to people now. It's just that I choose not to because I just don't want to.
I don't really see a whole lot of people like day to day. So
That's fair, and I could say that too because my clientele is nothing but 5 to 12-year-olds.
see, because
But
literally on my Tuesday, I don't see a person until almost 10 o'clock.
Mm.
About 10:30
Mhm.
is when I actually see my first person, and that's most of my day is already gone.
See, half of my job is customer service. If I'm not doing like data entry, it's me either talking on the phone to customers or talking face to face to customers. But one of my coworkers the other day, she's newer, so some of the customers, they'll take advantage of you if you're new and you don't really know what's going on. They'll try to
Mhm.
work you over. But she said she just appreciates how I can just walk out and like interject and just like shut them down without having any emotion. It's like I've been there so long. Like the other day, one of them was giving them trouble, and I just like walked out. It's like, nope, that's not how it is. You need to go somewhere else for that. We don't do that here. And I didn't even I was like
That's
I
such a
barely
good
even
acquired skill to have, man.
like I
It's
barely
once you
looked at
get
I
it.
have
them.
that too.
And it's just the way I projected it, and like I wasn't trying to be mean. I was just being. This is how it is.
Matter of
Very
fact,
firm.
0 F's given.
No.
You're not listening, so
I think
cut it
you
off.
guys think that I text like that a lot because
do.
I don't really like put any fluff to my text messages.
I don't
That's
either.
just how
Though.
you are.
I don't like using
To the
here.
point.
Here, little brief coda onto our episode. Our toxic traits. Mine is that I feel like me putting any kind of emotion in terms of like exclamation marks and emojis in my text comes off as weak. So all of my texts are like emails were like, yes, I think that would be a good idea, period. And like it's what's the word I'm looking for? Almost mechanical that people are like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, I don't know. I just don't feel like being like, because I read an exclamation mark as either yelling or as like super exuberance, and neither
Oh.
which are true for me. I'm not like, yeah, I think that, lunch will be good today. Versus if I put exclamation marks to me, it's like, yeah, I think that's awesome. We should do it. And I'm like, that's not me. I don't do that. So I take my messages to be like, how would I convey something? And so far, I have not found a way that doesn't sound either emotionally constipated or emotionally stricken with diarrhea.
Well, we're back on
I guess
diarrhea again.
I guess I need
Come full circle.
emotional regularity. But no.
I don't know. I think I have been told I'm very brutally honest, which I
You
mean, you guys
never.
have known me, but
Boy, we know.
To
Shut up,
be
baby. I
fair-
know it.
to be fair, my interpretation of you is very skewed because I first met you in 2011, and that probably wasn't the best time to meet you.
Sure.
But alternatively,
Because you're
wasn't
not
it,
who I
though?
thought you were, and it's a good thing. I'm not. I didn't think badly of you, but it was just like I used to think you were like very angry and like loud and
I was
boisterous.
probably back then because that was when I was drinking pretty heavily.
He was a raging ball.
So
and
it's
I was always mad at something or somebody or a dill pickle.
I almost said her name out loud, and I went, "Well, we can't dox her because we don't
I
really know her
I
anymore."
mean, it's funny because I've been I've known you for 15 years, and I've in the shadows, I've kept up with you. Like we've been
Yeah.
friends on social media, but not really spoken until we started. I started Twitch, but it's like over the years, I would just randomly see like pictures of you and your wife, and I'm like, God, he is not who I thought he was. I pegged him wrong. It's like I thought I knew this guy. I mean, because we really knew each other for like 1 year, and then I never saw you
Yeah.
guys for like 10 more years. So it was weird.
That is
And
the
now
best
we're
thing about having friendships, though, because you can, like, drop stuff off forever and then
Just figure it
show
right
up
back up.
again, and then nothing's changed, and I can relate to that because one of my best friends that I've known longer than Viper, I grew up with this guy. We were
Mhm.
in diapers together,
Yeah.
and he's not the most social kind of person in the world, and I know Vipe probably knows who I'm talking about here, but,
Yeah, I do.
um, he his he's not he's just very quiet.
Yeah.
He he actually got married by the time we were all in college and didn't bother to tell me, and at the time, I was kind of offended by it, you know?
Mhm.
Um, because your best friend doesn't tell you stuff like that. Not that I would wanted anything out of it, but just seemed he's got a little bit of an emotional lack. I don't know.
Yeah.
That fell apart, and that was what 15. Well, we were in college 15ish years ago. And life's happened. He's had relationships, and the one before this one now, unfortunately, she passed several years back, and he got into the dating scene again. Guess what? I found out it was about a week ago now. Popped up on the notifications. His childhood nickname's Birdie. Birdie married, and I went, well, I'll be damned, he did it again. but but again, out of the blue, I think it was Sunday. He calls me, and he calls me every once in a little while, sends me some text, Facebook message. He calls me like 3 times in a row, and I'm like, "Oh, crap, I better answer." He normally doesn't do it that quick.
Yeah.
He goes, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
I was asleep on the couch." He goes, "Well, I'll be at your house in 1 minute. I'm gonna introduce you to my new wife." And then I went,
My life.
"Okay." So in he walks. She comes in. She's great. Um, we just carry on like nothing happened. My wife was the random weekend she's at work. So my daughter, who has met my childhood best friend before, hadn't met the lady either, just like I hadn't. Um, that's kind of the best friendships where you don't mean any ill will by it. You're too busy juggling your own stuff, and then
Yep.
Yeah.
in they walk, and then
I
you're
like
back
to
to the
call those
regular routine.
light switch
Yeah.
relationships where,
Yeah.
you can turn them on and they're all great, good, grand. You can turn them off and
You
then
know,
turn them right back on.
and I used to hate that because I was like, how can you like how can you feel close to someone if you guys can do that? But, I can appreciate that more than I do not understand. And I don't know if you guys have experienced this. I've experienced it a lot in the past 10 years. You will have someone you talk to every single day. They know every single thing about you. You think they're the closest person. And then you have like one misstep or say one thing they don't like, and then they just block you and they
Yeah.
don't ever talk to you again. And you're like, what was that? Like, how is that even a friendship? Like
Yeah, I don't have many of those,
and, let me be
honestly.
clear. You don't owe anyone any time or any explanation for
Yep.
anything, but you could at least have the decency to at least acknowledge it. Because if you send a message and you don't respond, it's like, oh, they might be busy. A few days later, send another message. Well, that's weird. We usually talk more than this. And then you can literally have the rest of your life saying, I really wonder what happened. And it'll bother you. And they're just like, "Mm, well." They disagreed with me on this local ordinance that was passed in the county. It's like, what? And it's just the stupidest thing in the world, and it just drives me crazy.
That's called the trash letting itself out.
I guess that's true.
All right.
Yep.
And
We
what
are
a
on
note to
our
end on.
Because I'm pretty sure we're all referring to the same person.
I'm not
We're all
actually. I'm
thinking about
referring to like 10
Ooh.
different people.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Mine's just the one, actually.
I'm not exaggerating. This has happened a lot. It's happened to both my wife and I, to some people that we both know, some people that only one of us knows. But it gets to be a point where you start to think, do I suck?
No,
But
especially in the area we live in and the way society has become a lot more callous in the last decade. It's a lot
yeah.
more common, and it's easier to spot who's an a-hole and who's not nowadays. So if there's any sort of silver lining, it's that. You know who
Well,
to avoid.
not to leave on a hot take because we got to run 2 minutes, but I personally think leading into next week's episode about pet peeves, here's mine. I think that too many people have main character syndrome, and I think everyone in this world
God,
thinks the world
preach.
revolves around them, and I am absolutely sick of the amount of people who you tell them that you have an issue, and if they can't resolve it within 5 minutes, then they think that you were too negative on their life, and they don't want to speak to you anymore. And that is insane to me, and no, we're not gonna go on it. We've had a great night tonight. Love you all.
I
I
sent you
hope you
the raid person
Oh,
in
oh,
the
I'm
chat.
I'm not used to video chat, but it's nice to have. It's very easy to copy now. All right, well, we're gonna raid out now, and we will see you guys next week for episode 49. We are approaching the season finale, and we will try to have something cool for what?
I went 40 mierdo. I don't know.
40 Mierdo?
I was just being dumb.
I was like, that's not even
Chocorado.
remotely close to Spanish. I think it's 49. But anyway, let's wrap it up tonight. We'll see you guys
wait,
next
I
time.
broke my headphones. Okay, I'm back. Wait,
All right.
am I back?
Yep.
I'm not back.
You're back.
I'm back.
Good night,
Goodbye.
everyone.